Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, we're going to try and figure out what's really going on with Britt Baker.
Darby Allin, more like Darby All In.
Karrion, Kross and Scarlett, their WWE contracts are up very soon.
And I'll tell you the latest on Travis Scott in WWE. I'm Adam Wilborn.
I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news.
All right, we're going to kick this one off today by talking about Britt Baker.
Open wide.
Yes, the doctor is coming through. That's her catchphrase.
That's what she says.
That's what she says. She was all over the place yesterday. Not her personally. Her name was in headlines, Reddit posts, tweets, official reports, complete nonsense.
Instagram stories.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bottles of water.
Yeah.
Everything. So there was a bodyslam.net report that dropped yesterday afternoon UK time, morning US time, stating that Britt was actively looking to part ways with AEW, but Tony Khan was not looking to release her from her contract at that time, partly because he didn't want her to debut for WWE in her hometown Pittsburgh or at Evolution.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, so that might be part of it. Fightful, however, has not heard such things. Now, there's going to be a fair bit of reading going on in this post, because this part of the video, because I want to get everything right. It's a very confusing situation. Now, they kind of touch on the idea that they talk about the report, and they talk about how Britt had posted that thing to Instagram. It was like an inspirational quote about
the value of water or something. Yeah,
it's still the same product, but the value depending on the place. I bought a bottle of water in Vegas for $9.
Jeez.
So yeah, she's right.
Free in the office, comes out the tap.
Exactly. Yes. Turn it on, and
or if it comes out the cooler, it goes. Yeah. Which you hear on the news sometimes.
It's like the T-Rex from Jurassic Park.
Yes.
But yeah, Natalia replied to that. And I don't remember the exact quote, but she was like, "Hell yeah, brother." That or equivalent.
H2O. Oh no, that wasn't what it was about.
That's it. Britt replied saying, "Careful, Natty. The dirt sheets will have a field day." With a cry laugh emoji. We love that in the WhatCulture office. A cry laugh emoji. Now, Fightful have spoken to people who have knowledge of Britt's situation. They're familiar with her situation, and said that even the idea of her wanting out of AEW was news to them, and they have never heard anything resembling that. It's also noted that Britt actually she just shares a lot of stuff on Instagram, and she posts a lot of things, comments on a lot of things.
She's an open book.
Yeah, we're all posting. We're out here posting. Like that's a DJ Khaled song. We're out here posting. It's grinding, but never mind. Now
another one.
There's so many of them. You the best. You loyal. You smart. Buy a house.
Favorite thing I saw recently about DJ Khaled was when he was on Hot Ones. He was like, had like 3 wings.
Yeah, and he was like, that's
enough for me. And then the host was like, you're always talking about winning. Have you ever lost any time? And he's like, I never lose. I never quit.
Yeah,
talk about it. You just have.
You didn't even get to the Frank's Red Hot level of heat here, brother.
Like, I mean, no judgment on the hot sauce side of things. I wouldn't go on the show. I wouldn't be on the show, but I certainly wouldn't go on the show.
I would physically.
What's the plainest wings you've got? Oof, got a bit of a kick to them. Thank you very much.
I would probably poop myself live on air. It would be disgusting. Now, there's some more stuff here in this Fightful report here. They note that Britt Baker, they haven't been told I've completely lost my train of thought here. This is really good stuff. They're noting that she's got a long time left on her contract, basically. Sorry about that brain fuddle. There's a chance that the AEW could yet add injury time on, but as things stand, she's contracted to them until 2027. They note as well, she was slated for a program or a match with Serena Deeb. You remember it. The last time we saw her on TV in November, Serena Deeb came out to confront Britt Baker, and Britt Baker was just standing there going, "Nobody cares." Nobody cares, which...
I care about both of them.
Me too. It may have been an in-character thing, but it's also not the kind of line that really builds much anticipation.
Especially not when the person comes out to me, I'm going to get you.
Yeah,
like,
I don't care. Yeah, shut up, Serena Deeb. Leave me alone. I'm Britt Baker. But yeah, there were some hold-ups. Britt's apparently been open to returning, but there have been some hold-ups in the conversations to bring her back. Fightful closed this by saying, every source that we reached out to vehemently,
yeah.
that word, denied that Britt was actively trying to get out of the company. So You've got one outlet over here saying she wants out, another one saying people are denying that, no one's heard that. It's a very confusing situation, and I don't think it's going to get less confusing anytime soon.
No, until she either appears on AEW television or appears on WWE television, basically, because I've no doubt they would want her there, obviously. I can understand both sides of this report. I can understand her wanting to get out of AEW and maybe do something new in WWE. You know, they've got a thriving women's division over there as well, of course. But also I can understand that being complete bollocks and them just, taking their time to decide what to do next with her, or just saying to her, yeah, you're going nowhere. We've got you under contract and you're really talented and we want you around because, we've got Mercedes, I could sit here and list the women's division. Tony, Willow, Chris, Steve.
Who's Steve? I don't know.
I don't know. I think that's the real name of the butler, Luther. Steve the butler.
Steve Luther.
Yes. But, yeah, it's fascinating, the Britt Baker story, because she is effectively one of the pillars of AEW. She's a day oneer and someone who they initially built the company around. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they've been big stars coming into the women's division and doing amazing stuff as well. But I still feel like she has a role to play within AEW. But again, I've no doubt WWE, if they could, would get her like that. Especially, like you say, if they had the possibility of getting her out there in Britsburg, with the terrible towels or whatever they're called, or at Evolution, would be a hell of a debut.
Gritty? No, that's Philly, isn't he?
Yes.
Philly, isn't he? Sorry, but if it's Pennsylvania.
Please don't come after us.
Don't come after us. I love the city of Philadelphia.
I don't care about Philadelphia coming after us. I'm more scared of Just Gritty.
Yeah. Doing his little
terrifying
dance.
Mascot.
Crazy, insane beast, second only to Kingsley of Partick Thistle fame. Look it up if you don't believe me. So Britt Baker is someone people have a lot of strong opinions on. I'm always very dubious of these situations where people make a lot of judgments on people that they've never met and they've never interacted with, and it's all based on hearsay, and it's all like, look, I've no doubt that people have, maybe Britt has ruffled a bunch of feathers. It's wrestling, that happens. People are jostling for spots all the time. Maybe she has. But a lot of people talk about this woman like she's some kind of international criminal.
Yes.
It's crazy. I have a lot, and look, the Mercedes match last year wasn't great, right? But I have a lot of patience for people who are coming off of long injury layoffs and have had to battle back. I think she had some kind of terrible...
horrific, the story she told on Dynamite about
really awful. I have a lot of patience and a lot of time for people like that. So I'm always very slow to jump on the bandwagon of hate that these people in the public eye receive, especially women who receive a lot of this, let's be honest, from men online. Mercedes is another one. She gets a lot of crap that is completely unwarranted. And look, hey, maybe if I had a conversation with Steve, John, and Barry from AEW, they might be like, yeah, no, this stuff happened and it's bad. And I'd be like, okay, but I haven't had those conversations, and I'm not going to base my opinion on a wrestler.
Pure speculation, isn't it?
Yeah, based on what John79210.com has said on Twitter. So I have a lot of patience for Britt Baker. Look, and her situation, patience isn't the word, sympathy.
Yes.
Because I think she attracts a lot of crap. Now, with regards to her and her position in the company, she was obviously extremely important early on. You can't deny that. One of the most overstars in the company. You could make the argument that perhaps in ring the company has evolved a little bit further. I would entertain that conversation for sure. The working standard's really strong. Britt is, I think, at this stage, probably a bit underrated as a wrestler because, again, her biggest critics talk about her like she's bloody James Ellsworth
people
or something.
Forget she had probably one of the best women's matches in AEW.
Exactly. And maybe the injury has taken a lot out of her. I don't know. At the same time, hey, people jumping around is good for the sport. And look, one thing about Britt is that she's always been very publicly complimentary of Tony Khan and AEW and her position in the company, and how originally when she started, she was balancing the dentistry with the wrestling and how that was a perfect balance. I think she's just doing wrestling now. Correct me if I'm wrong, comment section. So there's reason to be a bit dubious about I'm not saying body slam are wrong.
No.
I'm saying that maybe the sources, I think there's reason to question the sources, they're just passing on what they've been told, man. Sometimes conflicting reports happen.
It must be weird being one of the sources, because you must get just such random text messages from Corey or Sean Ross Sapp or whoever. Just what? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got to ask about this now.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Just casually slip it into conversation. Any word from Britt?
Yeah. I've heard a story about Britt Baker stealing. She stole Darby Allin's lunch money Can you look into this for me?
Do you know I have my sources, obviously?
Smashed all his Warhammers.
You know, I have my sources, my little birds out there.
Yes.
Apparently, the real reason that she wants out of AEW, if that is the case, is Tony Khan stupidly, to celebrate her tenure within AEW, tried to give her a plaque. She's a dentist, and she was like, "What are you doing? Come on."
But hey, listen, if you want to avoid nasty elements online, like plaque, e-plaque, you need to get yourself NordVPN.
That's what everyone calls it.
Yeah, e-plaque. It's when they steal your data and it appears in your teeth.
Yeah.
96% off. That'd be the deal of the century. This is the actual deal of the century. We're running a great deal with our partners at the moment. The best VPN in the business. 76% off. Up to a $50 Amazon gift card and up to 4 months for free. Offers only open until July 10th. Sign up now. Let's talk Darby Allin.
Yeah, link in the description. Fantastic deal. Darby Allin, and even more like Darby All In.
That's twice you've said that.
It works better when it's written down as well. Because when's Darby returning back to telly? He's been bloody lazy in 2025, never popping up. What's he been up to?
Oh
yeah, he can't be conquered Mount Everest. Just, yeah, as you do. But an interesting report from Fightful on an update on Darby Allin and his expected return. Get excited. Now, the expedition was expected to take months away from his schedule and was delayed, obviously, a year due to that injury he suffered. The original hope was that Darby would be back in time for the Owen Hart tournament. That pretty early on proved to be pretty unrealistic. Yes. He obviously still hasn't returned to AEW television, but sources that Fightful spoke to said that Darby could be returning to the company imminently and that they would be shocked if he's not involved with All In some capacity. The good news is he emerged from Everest relatively unscathed and is in shape to compete if needed. An insane year for Darby Allin, but it feels like, All In's the big show of AEW's year, and you want big things to happen on that. They've got huge matches, obviously, set up for that. More being added on last night's Dynamite, of course. We'll review it on the Dynamite Review podcast later on today. But yeah, I also would be shocked if Darby doesn't pop up in one way or another.
Yeah, for sure. So, there's been a lot of fantasy booking and pitches and ideas that people have thrown around regarding Darby Allin and the Casino Battle Royal Casino Gauntlet and contenderships and cash-ins, and that maybe Hangman loses the main event, but then Darby cashes in and he wins the title. I've seen a lot of that.
Oh.
Personally, here's what I would do. I would not have Darby in the gauntlet, and I would not do any cash-in stuff. I would actually eliminate the idea of cash-ins from AEW completely, and I would use it as like a call your shot, kind of like I have this title opportunity that you can use at a future date, rather than being that I've got my briefcase. Yeah. I don't like that. What I would do is I would keep it simple, stupid in this instance, and if you're going to have Darby return on this show, I think that, and look, they're probably going to do the run-in parade in the main event, right? The Avengers.
Yeah.
Right? So if that happens, I think that Darby should return during the main event to help Hangman win the belt, right? Big heroic ending. The show goes off the air with the he's not from Texas, but the cowboy winning in Texas in a Texas death match, all of this stuff. Then in that situation, you have two things for Darby. I think he's a very compelling first feud for Moxley after Moxley's lost the belt.
Yeah.
I think that that's a really good story because it's like, what does Moxley do after he's failed to take the company over and all of this stuff, after he's lost his grip? Oh, here's one of the guys who instigated it. I think that's perfect. Also, he can say to Hangman Adam Page, I helped you win that belt, I should get a title shot, and then you can have a ripping title match between them in the future. Yeah. And that would rock.
Yeah, I think all of those suggestions are really, really good. I think I prefer yours, to be perfectly honest. I don't really subscribe to the idea as much now that the Casino Gauntlet kind of gives away what's going to happen in the main event, because it's not like you get the title shot at the next show that we have, the next big pay-per-view or whatever. So in a way, you can have either, effectively, let's be honest, it's between Darby Allin if he shows up in it, Mark Briscoe because he's awesome, or my favourite and my best friend, Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
If Eddie could be in it and win, that would be amazing.
But Ambassador, you're spoiling us now.
Yeah, probably won't happen because...
God, I miss that man.
I miss him so much. Every single week it gets worse. It gets worse and worse without Eddie.
Can you cut a promo in the middle of the Casino Gauntlet? Because I'd want to hear that man talk more than anything.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. Man, miss him.
I hope Mox is about to, he's choking out... Hangman Page, and then instead of a run-in, we see a video, and it's Darby Allin snowboarding off the top of Mount Everest. Then he flies in, Still snow on his shoulders.
Doing a little kickflip on the Kumbu Icefall.
Yes.
Gee whiz. What a guy. He could fall in the crevasse.
Or he could attack Wheeler Ute with an ice pick or something. I don't know.
Why not?
Regardless, it will be great to see him back.
Comes down with a gang of Sherpas and beats ass.
Yes.
The toughest people alive, those
They
Sherpas.
are incredible.
You should watch the documentaries.
You think our job's hard?
Yeah. Gee whiz. Well, the documentaries on them are
Yeah.
fascinating. I have so much respect for them doing that role. Let's talk about Karrion, Kross and Scarlett.
Yeah.
What's going on with them? Right, so Kross's future has been in the question for ages. There was a report recently that his contract's up soon, and there was a lot of speculation heading into the Sami Zayn match in Night of Champions that it might have been a write-off for him. He lost, obviously, in the end, but they didn't really feel like he was saying goodbye.
No.
All of that stuff. Fightful have a new report on this matter, noting that Kross's contract expires in August next month.
It's when my birthday is. You've still got time to buy me presents, actually.
Be a bad birthday present. Also, this aligns with Scarlett's contract. Scarlett's
That
contract...
would be weird if one stuck around.
Yeah. It's like, Kross is gone, but Scarlett, you've got another 3 years. That'd be weird. But yeah, they align. They expire at roughly the same time. Now, people in WWE expect them to stick around. Otherwise, they wouldn't be featured regularly on TV. That's not stopped WWE in the past, but yes. And he's got new merch. He was on a recent show, all of that stuff. But there is no confirmation of him re-signing, which is quite odd. I would have thought that given how public all of his stuff has been with regards to all these stories about him not bumping and all of this, that maybe something would have came out now about negotiations at the very least. But it hasn't. I think the likeliest scenario is he stays.
Yes.
And I think the second likeliest scenario, if he leaves, is that he maybe goes back to TNA or somewhere like that. Mm-hmm. He'd be the big dog in that company for sure. So yeah, interesting times for both of them.
Yeah, he's a fascinating person, isn't he, Karrion Kross? Because, like you say, you've got this weird groundswell of support behind someone who, up until recently, was very rarely wrestling in front of us. So much so people were trying to remember if he's ever taken a back bump, which was nonsense. But
he did. To be fair, the bumps he took in the Sami Zayn match were like the fabulous Moolah, or Mae Young at 70 years old or something. They were weird.
It was funny. People were like, "He's not bumping all over the place on main event." Well, no. Why would you?
Why would you take bumps on main event, brother? It's so funny. The psyop theory is so
nonsense.
Funny. Yeah.
But I'm a big fan of Karrion Kross. We've loved him for a long time on the podcast. I still think he was very entertaining. Like you say, he lost at the pay-per-view at Night Champions, but didn't seem to lose anything in terms of what's going on with him, because he just immediately beat the crap out of Sami Zayn on Raw, hit him with a pipe, and then said, it's a huge misunderstanding, guys, when security tried to get involved. I think you're right. I think in all likelihood he's going to stick around. Best case scenario, or I think that the thing that should happen, and I don't think this will, because that's not how the business works, is both parties come together and go, all right, how about we do a 1-year deal, right? And we both see what we can get out of each other. See if you can, utilise this groundswell of crowd support to elevate your position on screen in matches. And if you're not happy with it, or we're not happy with it after a year, thanks very much. Shake hands. We'll go our separate ways.
Yeah.
Triple H obviously likes Karrion Kross from this time in NXT and the way he's gone. Right. Well, Vince ruined that. We'll try again. But yeah, I don't know what you do with him. I don't know where you position him, but I hope he does stick around.
It's tough. He is a tough guy to slot, right? Because the character is lovely. I think, what was the word Wade Keller used? It was wonderful. I like that. It is. It's
fascinating.
It's a lot of fun.
He's patter as well.
He is. He's not the best wrestler in the world. So it's working
in that company as well. It's a high bar.
Where do you? Well, Jey Uso was world champion, man. You got to be, you got to have your working boots. But jokes aside, it's quite hard to figure out where to slot him.
Yeah.
From that, because of that reason. So I don't know what the ceiling is. I don't know what the peak is. I don't really see him as and look, I really like the guy. I think he's really fun. But I don't see him as a world champion.
No, not right now at least.
Yeah, in WWE. So yeah, it's a tough one. He's a tough guy to slot, but I'm looking forward to seeing the bookers try to solve that.
I could see him as an IC champion.
Yes.
I could see him as that is his treasured possession.
Yeah.
That's what really matters to him. I don't really want to see him fight Dom, but That's two beloved baby faces right there.
Might be funny, though.
Yeah, it would be really funny. But you're right. It is interesting that nothing's really come out about this, because normally from one side or the other, something gets out to try and get ahead of the story. There's a complete silence on this, and the fact it's next month. Are they going to try and work it into a storyline? You know, the whole
Summer of Kross.
The whole I'm gonna take this IC title and leave, or whatever. I'm gonna take Sami Zayn and leave. I don't know, but he's a fascinating person, and I always look forward to seeing him every single week on Monday Night Raw.
Absolutely.
Right. Speaking of people we look forward to seeing.
Who's this story about?
Travis Scott. Reports on Travis Scott and what's going on with him, and when he's going to be popping up again. Apparently, according to WrestleVotes, on a recent Q&A, he was slated to be involved at Money in the Bank. WWE made, quote, a lot of Scott merchandise with the date and location of the show, but then the backlash to WWE releasing R-Truth made them change the creative for the better, in my opinion, regardless of what they had for Travis Scott. I think what they did at Money in the Bank was really, really good. Now, WrestleVotes acknowledge it's possible the Rappers match could be moved to SummerSlam, because he was going to be involved in sort of maybe some sort of weird tag match, it seemed, alongside John Cena, of course. That might be at SummerSlam, but it's also possible that WWE's moved on from Scott altogether. I mean, obviously, one would assume it's Cody and Cena. It's not been. I mean, they've got the SmackDown. I've tried to avoid the SmackDown spoilers because we've got to try and preview it on Friday.
Good luck.
But all the fallout from Night of Champions would mean that Cody faces Cena again for the title. Travis Scott could be involved in that match, but I don't think Cody's going to be like, and you know what? Let's make it a tag match.
Yeah, absolutely. I think pivoting away from this would not be a bad idea at all. I think that you don't know how he's going to do in a match, right, until you actually get to the match. But, like, the Cody spot at WrestleMania was so crap, I would just bin it, mate, honestly.
Funny.
Like, yeah, it was
the
funny.
Longest entrance since The Undertaker.
And then he got potatoed by the Code Man. It was like, here's your receipt, Travis Scott. Weird. I would just scrap it. I wouldn't bother. I have no anticipation for
maybe
it.
Maybe having him be out there, not as the catalyst, but as part of John Cena's babyface turn, to be like, John, what are you doing? I thought we were mates.
And then John Cena could punch. That'd be quite good, actually. Yeah. But I'm not sure I would put him in the match. I don't know if you're getting Bad Bunny levels of performance from Travis Scott. Based on what we've seen so far, I could be totally wrong. It could be awesome. Hey, look, Action Bronson had a fun little match.
He did. He was great.
It was fun. He just ran into people.
There's a sliding scale, isn't there? You've got your Bad Bunnies, your Action Bronsons, and then you've got your Snoop Dogs.
Hey, Snoop Dogg had a great WrestleMania match.
He did. Better than Shane McMahon.
Yeah. He's a better wrestler than Shane McMahon.
Snoop still got it.
God. He was really sharp to save that segment as well.
It was a good instinct, wasn't it? I mean, Miz did well to be like, do something.
Yeah, beat me. Do an elbow drop. Do a people's elbow. Well, he did a people's elbow, didn't he?
I think so.
Yeah.
Certainly didn't do a frog splash. That was exclusively in AEW and a one-time only deal.
The 5-star dog splash. Yeah, that was no good. God bless Snoop Dogg.
Can we have a Rappers Battle Royal?
Action Bronson, Travis Scott, Snoop Dogg, Bad Bunny. Shaq has released music.
Yes.
There you
go. What's his name? Not Vanilla Ice. The one who pinned John Cena, who dated or was married to Britney Spears. Kevin Federline.
Cheesy peeps.
He did Popo's Out. You ever heard Popo's Out?
What?
We'll get that on The Office.
Gee whiz. John Cena could be in there.
Of course.
Bad man.
I tell you what.
Who else? There's a few options. Miz and Morrison.
Yes. Hey, hey, ho, ho.
The worst thing ever. Yeah, there's plenty of rappers.
That's enough, isn't it?
Master P. He's done wrestling stuff.
I feel like there's a blatantly obvious one we've just completely forgotten, but I'm sure people in the comments.
Insane Clown Posse. Jeezy,
can we have Jim Cornette commentate on this?
Violent J was wrestling in Japan last year. ICP legends. I love. It's not for me, but I kind of love that they exist.
He's a rapper. All truth.
Yeah, but they've forgotten about him already.
Ron Killings, yes.
Yeah, they cared about him for about 48 hours, and they're like, you're R-Truth again, Chief. Hey, what a farce. Poor guy. I got my contract
back.
Cool
moment. I was happy for him.
Yeah, he got a cool moment. What happens after that?
He is sort of being used as the catalyst for Priest and Aleister Black, isn't he now?
Aleister Black. Just don't take.
Does he rap? Alistair Black?
Probably not. I don't
Good at
think
riddles.
so. He is. He's a poet. So maybe he could.
And he does know it.
He could rap if he wanted to, but I think he's more of a metal guy.
Yeah, fair.
A Corman as well.
But let us know who you'd like to see in and who you'd like to see win our completely invented Rappers Battle Royal.
Yes. Oh yay.
Hardy,
the guy, he kind of raps. He does some rhythmic.
what's his name? Kevin Rudolph?
In the city.
Oh, hang on. Wasn't Lil Wayne in Mania the other year?
Yes, he was. And
he did a rap.
He was rubbish.
I didn't say good rap.
Because he got introduced as the greatest rapper of all time, and then he absolutely pissed it.
What time's the greatest rapper of all time getting in?
Yeah, just like he didn't know what he did a bit of a milli, and then Jey Uso came out, and he was just like, where are you?
Michael Cole's spit some bars, hasn't he, before?
Michael Cole.
You know everybody wants to be like Mike.
Oh, jeez, he peeps.
Remember that when JR went bar for bar with him and lost
Michael
somehow?
Cole sure can rap. It's about time he had an England cap. Let's close this one off. This has been a disaster.
Wrap it up.
Totally different style of music, but if you want to know about the most metal wrestlers of all time, that's right here, baby. You might see Alistair Black on there.
Ooh, check it out.
Don't turn your back
See you soon.
on Alistair Black. Yeah.